And good morning, sports fans. It's the coach and the AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, live from inside Coach's Corner this morning due to the fact that I left my extension cord at home, so I couldn't run the wires outside in the sound garden. I would have loved to be out in the sound garden, but you know what? I had to do this quick, left my extension cord at home. So what I'm doing, I'm inside, but the AD is enjoying some baseball, as you saw in my promo on the Facebook page. I'm inside. He's playing a little baseball. Chad, the AD, how's it going?
Going great, man. Once again, I was going to ask you, how'd you sneak inside this morning? Usually everything's like locked up, and you must have found a way in.
Well, I got lucky. The door was unlocked this morning, so I was able to come inside, set this all up, and out late last night watching my boy play baseball, and got home late, and I did all this stuff as much as I could till about 12:30 last night. Some things might not work well, some might, but you know what? It's all about having fun.
Yeah, man. Well, it'll be fine. Everything will be good. But we're down here in right outside of Charleston in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. It's our first time for us coming to the shipyard, and I have to say it might be one of the most special places for youth baseball I've been a part of. It's located right on the river. Just a beautiful setting here outside of Charleston, and kids walked up last night, and it takes your breath away if you've never been here. It feels like a big league atmosphere for these kids. You got stadium seating everywhere, these big open plazas, and it's really all turf fields. It was so professional, and so this is a great place to be, and a great place to play some baseball for sure.
All right, not to be rude, Chad. You know what I'm doing here. I'm also the producer.
Oh, yeah. You're producing.
I'm getting texts from our next guest.
While you're taking care of that, I'm going to update people on what's going on with Georgia High School. Reacclimation came back out this week for coronavirus situations, and so nothing yet really been in place for kids that are coming back. And you got to think about it. If you're a kid and if you're a student athlete and you've missed 10 to 14 days of action, you're going to lose some fitness. And so instead of just throwing student athletes back into the mix, Georgia High School, along with their medical advisory committee, came out with reacclimation. It's a 5-day period, and it's effective, starts immediately. Athletes and teams requiring reacclimation back into play if you're coming off a quarantine situation and dealing with COVID. So day 1 is hour-and-a-half conditioning, helmets only. Day 2 is 2 hours of conditioning, helmets only. Day 3 is 2.5 hours with helmets, so you can kind of return to practice situation there. Day 4, 2.5 hours, and you get helmets and shoulder pads. And then day 5, 2.5 hours, full pads, no game. So depending on the situation, depending on where you land in your return protocol, hey, you might miss a game. You might miss 2 games, depending on where you're at on the protocol. Now, none of this listed for other sports. This is just football. But I would take it as well if you're returning in a sport, especially think about cross country. If you've missed 14 days or 10 to 14 days of cross country, you shortly can't go back out there and just go run a 5K. And so, I think ADs are just going to have to look at how you apply this to other fall sports, whether it's cheerleading or cross country or softball or volleyball. Those sports are not directly contact, but there's still conditioning involved. You take 14 days off right now during the summer with this heat, and you jump back out there because really 14 days you've quarantined. You're inside, you're in the air conditioning, and now you're thrown back out in the South Georgia heat. I think there needs to be some protocols from us on the local level as well about what this looks like with kids returning to play.
I definitely agree with you. And what I usually do when I come on, I get excited. I usually introduce our guest. Our first is going to be the doctor of physical therapy, Stuart Fife from Fife Therapy. He's going to help us talk about what parents need to know. Like you said, hey, you're out because of the coronavirus. You got to 10, 14 days, whatever your school, whatever your district's policy is, you got to get back in shape. So we'll start with Stuart Fife at 9:15. We got a great trio for our Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic Athlete of the Week. They're the athletes of the week. We have not 1, not 2, but 3 young ladies who signed college scholarships to go play volleyball. Well, committed to go play volleyball at the next level. We got Logan Jones from Savannah Christian. We got Tynley Smeltzer. Tynley. I always mess that up. I call it Tinsley. It's Tynley Smeltzer. I apologize, Tynley. And of course, we got Jordan Christy from the Habersham school. That'll be fun. Then we're going to talk a little bananas. That's right. I love talking bananas. This guy is behind the scenes, the vice president of talent at the Bananas, and he's a local guy from Swainsboro, played his baseball at Armstrong. We'll talk to Barry Aldridge, and then I get to grill the AD in the last segment. So we'll go on from there. But to go back what Chad was talking about, yeah, you got to come back. You got to be in shape. You just can't think that you could step on the field and you're ready to go, or the cross-country trail. So, yeah, you got to do that.
Yeah, I mean, this is important. I agree. I mean, with Georgia High School wholeheartedly, you got to put some things back out here. But it looks very football specific. But I think, like I said, us as athletic directors on the local level, we have to look at this for all sports, not just football. And I understand that, yes, contact. But you're right. I mean, these kids out here, running and playing. And, I mean, you can't tell me that softball is not conditioning. They're not doing conditioning, or volleyball is not doing conditioning. So we got to work on some protocols at a local level as well.
All right, other high school news. Remember, we're going to start the show off with 3 off the top. We're going to go high school, college, and then pro. High school football, volleyball, softball, everything started last night. We had an official slate of games across the bridge over there in Hilton Head, the South Carolina Independent Schools Association. Hilton Head Christian, who's ranked number 1 in AA in Skeeza. They beat Dorchester 40-12. Hilton Head Prep beat Carleton Prep 30-20. Thomas Haywood took it on the chin against First Baptist 47-26. Orangeburg Prep beat John Paul II 54-21 over in Hardyville. And St. John's Christian went over to Beaufort and beat Beaufort Academy 28-18. Hey, we got high school football scores, Chad. What more do we want?
I tell you, man, that's a big deal. Driving over here yesterday, I saw plenty of those buses up and down the highways of going. Once we crossed into South Carolina, we actually passed a convoy of St. John's Christian, going to Beaufort Academy. And so it's great to see. I mean, that's one thing you always notice Friday on the roads driving around Georgia is the caravan of buses and cars going from place to place. And it's a great opportunity to be back last night for high school football in the Low Country. And, hey, we're just now 1 week away from high school kickoff in the state of Georgia, with a big slate of games coming up with the Corky Kell Classic, and then everybody gets roaring, here next Friday.
Yeah, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to Corky Kell?
Yep.
And then we kick off right here in Savannah, Georgia. Burke County comes on to take on Benedictine at Memorial Stadium. Pierce County, Liberty County is canceled. Calvary Day, you guys are traveling up I-75 to Prince Avenue Christian. Tough one. ECI is taking on Savannah Christian in Pooler. Butler is going over to Bryan County. Savannah Country Day travels to Bullock Academy, one of the top Giza schools, Bullock Academy. So Savannah Country Day is going to get tested early. Bethesda goes and plays Beaufort Academy. John Paul II comes over and takes on St. Andrews, who had a scrimmage last night with Bethesda Academy. Hey, from what I understand, they kept score. St. Andrews, with only 16 players, beat Bethesda. But, it's a scrimmage. To me, a scrimmage doesn't matter. But, with only 16 kids, that's got to be exciting. Grovetown comes in and takes on Effingham County, and the Richmond Hill Wildcats travel down to the Camden County Wildcats. Due to the schedule changes, Richmond Hill had to pick up 2 games. So, Matt Lazat, check out the Prep Sports Report website. Chad, their offensive line, great story by Travis Jadon, averages 303 pounds. And high school football.
That's a load right there, man. You think about in typically Class A, and really just anywhere. That's an anomaly. But that's a credit to Matt and his program. So credit one. I don't think people understand how big Richmond Hill High School is numbers wise. I think people just think, well, it's Richmond Hill. It's kind of been an offset of people's mentality over the years, but golly, man, I think they're up to 2,500 students or more, at Richmond Hill. So, golly, that's a lot of kids walking the halls. And one, you've done a great job developing a program like Matt has, and you're going to get kids like that. But yeah, with only 2 schools in that county, Bryan County High School is they're just kind of on that other end of the county, and Richmond Hill is just growing, developing right there off of, 95. And it's just exploding.
All right, and we got a lot of softball and volleyball going on, so check your school's website, check Facebook, check the Prep Sports Report website. I'll start posting schedules now because everybody wants to see what's going on. NCAA, there's not really much news except Georgia Southern had to put practice to a halt, their football program, for a couple of days due to the fact of COVID-19. And, NCAA came out and said they're going to let the fall sports play.
Yeah, so that was a big change. Come out and let them play. I think, the fact that you have the SEC, ACC, Big 12, you have some major conferences stick with it. I think that was a big ordeal with those conferences sticking with it and saying, hey, we're going to play and participate. Now you're looking at Big 10 trying to kind of back into this back door. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting development over the next 7 days on what that looks like, if they actually can pull that off and and go forward with it. Or are they really going to move it? But man, you're on the cusp of playing here in a couple of weeks. You got to get things figured out. You're either going to do it or not. But I think it's just immense pressure for them right now. When you got the South, you got SEC and ACC and Big 12, playing. I think it's putting a lot of pressure on those guys up there in the Big 10 of like, man, we're going to get farther behind, especially recruiting wise, if we're not playing.
All right, and that's the second step. Three off the top. So that's number 3. That's number 2, college. Okay, we'll go to number 3, pros. Well, one step below the pros, the Savannah Bananas and the Making Bacon. They're going in the Breakfast Bowl. Savannah Bananas took the first 4 games. They lost last night 7-5. They got down early, couldn't come back. They're 4-1 in the Breakfast Bowl. They travel 16 today to go take on Making Bacon in Macon in Luther Wright Stadium. So that'll be another one tonight at 7:00. PGA golf. Brian Harmon made the top 70 to go into the FedEx Cup playoffs. Right now, he's tied for 5th. He's tied for 50th at 5 over. The leader is only 1 shot over, so 1 shot under. He has to finish in the top 30 in this tournament to continue next week. Gene Sowers last week at Ozarks National, he shoots 10 under. He finishes tied for 15th. But the lefty, Phil Mickelson, makes his appearance on the senior circuit, the PGA Champions Tour. He shoots 22 under. I mean, what more can you say there, Chad?
That's an absurd number for one, but it shows you. I mean, like it's hard to believe that Phil's at that point. That hey, he's going to crack the senior tour, and like think about in the coming years, it's not that far long. You're going to have Phil, Tiger. I mean, some of these guys, in the senior tour, and you're like, holy cow! Like it's going to be hard to imagine seeing that again.
It's crazy. And of course, the Braves lost last night, 7-4 in 11 innings to the Phillies. They're still 18-13. They're still in first place. They'll play tonight at 7:08 in Philadelphia. What else I got? No really big news out of the Falcons camp. And local soccer, one step below the big boys, Tormenta Football Club. They're 2-3-2. They beat Chattanooga last week. They won't play till September 4th when they take on the Greenville Football Club up there in Statesboro.
Yeah, man. So they're doing, seem to be catching a little bit of stride here at the end of the season and get back in a rhythm for them. And it's great to see that teams are able to progress, during this area. I mean, I can imagine what it was like to start the season for those guys, and you're being in a bubble and you're trying to do all these things, and now, hey, you're starting to see athletics in general, Carl. I think maybe get a handle on this. I don't hear the day-to-day disruptions that you heard about in the early. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, you heard in the whole University of Alabama 560 students, but I mean, out of 25 or 30,000, I mean, if you put it in comparison, what numbers are we really talking about? But I get it. Any number is a number. I'm not going to try to minimize what it is. But what do you think is going to happen when you put 25, 30,000 college students back on campus? You're going to have this at some point. And so, what's the protocols? Just like the rest of us, Carl. Me and you were talking about before the show, protocols that we're all have put in place to get students and fans back on our campus. Listen, we're all dealing with the same thing, and continue to grind that away.
All right, on that note, let's get out of here. We got to come up with our next guest in a perfect segue. Georgia High School State Association, they changed the acclimation period when a student athlete comes down and they're out for 10 to 14 days. While this man's been around in Savannah for over 25 years as a physical therapist. Now he's doctor of physical therapy from Fife Therapy. We'll have my mate, okay, as he calls me, he comes over from across the pond. You know what I mean, mate? Fish and chips and all that other stuff. But we'll have Stuart Fife on next, how to take care of your athlete. And he might have a little announcement for you about the Fife Therapy practice in general. Stay tuned. It's the coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report in the, what is it, coach? The universe of all sports? So Coach Corner is the center of the sports universe. There you go. The center of the sports universe. It's right here, all on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Remember, there's two shows, the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, and right here, Rubbin' and Grubbin', every Wednesday night, the big NASCAR show. We'll be right back after we thank our sponsors.
It's all sports all the time. That's Coach's Corner and Thunderbolt. Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for 20 years running, and it's no wonder why. Sports, live music, delicious and abundant pub food. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. Coach's Corner has been Savannah strong during the COVID-19 pandemic. They are now open for dine-in lunch and dinner. But remember, Coach's Corner still has curbside and takeout service. John Harrison and the Coach's Corner crew has still been smoking delicious meats like Boston Butts ribs and chicken on the grill. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's 912-352-2933. Don't forget, Saturday night at Soundgarden, it's the Big Engine Band. Tickets are from $10 to $20, so get yours fast. As always, make it a night to remember at Coach's Corner.
At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School would consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
Over a half century when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, and trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and the best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. So come get equipped at Thompson Sports Shop. They are now located at 42 West Montgomery Crossroads, Suite C in Savannah, are open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. each day. So come visit locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, where everyone is a winner.
Yo, you still want some real New York deli and Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road in Savannah, Georgia during this social distancing problem. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering will take calls for pickup at 912-354-2914. That's 912-354-2914 on the phone. Kabish. If you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered, go to savtakeout.com, savtakeout.com to place the order. Remember, Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering, we ain't New York style, we are
Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time, it makes you mad, the pain drives you crazy, you just want to pick something up and throw it across the room? If you can. At the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And it's Saturday morning. The coach and AD are grateful that you could join us. It's the Karl DeMasi Sports Report on the it's the coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report live. I'm live in Coach's Corner due to the fact that I forgot my extension cord. It's all presented by the Coach's Corner Sports Network. And once again, it's a lot of fun. And I do apologize, Mr. Griffin. Like I said, last night was tough. That's last week's promo for our sponsors. So I do apologize. I'm not going to have time to change it. But tonight's band is Andrew Gill and Friends, not the Big Engine. Andrew Gill and Friends. I'll have to do that every time we come back. It's $10. Go to Eventbrite. Great music goes on out there in the Soundgarden every Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, and join us. So I do apologize, Chad. I know you spent time making that promo. Can you hear me, Chad?
It's all right, man. We got it. It's just 2 lines, man. It's just 2 lines. Yeah.
All right. We're running a little late here, so let's bring our next guest on. I can hear you. Can you hear me? Chad, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can hear you. We're good. We're good to go.
We're good to go. Okay, bringing on the next guest. We talked about Georgia High School Association coming out with their new acclimation. If a student athlete is out for anywhere from 5 to 14 days, he's been around Savannah for 25 years. He's a doctor of therapy. He has a lot of credentials, too many for me to shoot out, but he is a doctor of physical therapy. Joining us now on the Coach's Corner hotline, not the hot seat, our man, Stuart Fife. Dr. Fife, how's it going?
Hey, mate. How you doing? Hey, Chad. How you doing?
Hey, great, man.
Good.
Hey, just having a lot of fun talking local sports, and now we're getting back in the full swing of things, and you're the man that's been doing this for a long time. And Chad, just quickly tell Stuart what Georgia High School State Association came out again so he can go a little further on that point.
Yeah, so, this week there's not really been a protocol for kids returning from COVID. And so this week the Medical Advisory Committee with Georgia High School gave a 5-day reacclimation period specifically for football, though, and we'll get into that in our next question with you. But they gave a breakdown of 5 days returning, conditioning the first 3 days with helmet only, and increasing that from like an hour to an hour and a half to 2 hours. And then on the 4th day, they could put pads on, and the 5th day they could get back to practice. And so just want to get your take on a reacclimation for kids that are coming back from COVID that have been quarantined for maybe up to 14 days, and the importance of that.
Well, even 14 days of inactivity will have an effect on an athlete's performance for sure. And the thing that will take the biggest hit will be the glutes. The glute complex will weaken faster from sitting around. So even when these guys are convalescent at home or recovered, they need to stay in shape. They just do. Because even the general population, we've seen an increase in things like low back pain, hip pain, knee pain, because of people sitting around. And you'll be amazed how fast that happens. So lots of people are at a threshold, just making it, not really having pain. They sit for 2 or 3 days, and then it comes a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and all of a sudden you tip the scale, and all of a sudden you start becoming symptomatic, even for athletes. And we've talked about before, Carl, that lots of our athletes are on the edge of having injuries. They're pretty close, they're managing okay, but we still have no big, we haven't seen injuries go down despite all our technologies and things that we do in general. Injury rates have remained the same. ACL ruptures, for example, went up 4,000% in the last 10 years. So we still have a lot of athletes who are functioning well, but athletes are famous for compensating well. They have a deficit in the way they move, but they're such skilled athletes, they compensate and get around that until some point the scale tips, and also we see injuries occurring. So if you're out for COVID for 14 days, you've got to stay in shape. You've got to keep doing things you do to stay fit and make sure nothing is getting weaker, because it happens amazingly fast within activity.
Well, give us a time limit, Stuart. Dr. Stuart Fife from Fife Therapy. He's been in Savannah, Georgia for over 25 years. He knows a lot of people in this town. So give us a little time limit when the muscles, how long does it take for the muscles or conditioning to start wearing off in an athlete, a young athlete? Well, again, it depends.
I'll give you a simple test, guys. Any athletes who are listening now, if you stand up and stand on one leg, every athlete should be able to stand completely bolt upright, completely still. That control comes from the glutes. The glutes will take the biggest hit in a few days from sitting too much. So as far as the human body goes, injury, deconditioning, and aging, those 3 things have the same effect on the nervous system. So deconditioning is sitting. And we've done these studies on Smeltzer, et cetera, but just sitting down, the thing that takes the biggest hit first will be your glutes. So any athlete who can't stand still on one leg and be perfectly motionless is on the edge of an injury. That's how simple this is. And you can see these changes within 5 to 7 days from sitting down. You might notice that when you stand on one leg, you're just a little bit off, or you feel your ankle doing this, and that shouldn't be. We should, as humans, be able to stand still on one leg. That's basic. So the glutes will take the biggest hit. In 5 to 7 days, they'll already see a decline. They'll decondition quicker. And then the human body defaults to the quad and the hamstring. So we see a ton of athletes who are quad and hamstring dominant which is fine for strength, but doesn't do anything for control. So your quad and your hamstring will not prevent an ACL rupture, your glutes will. So that's how important this keeping conditioning is, especially after even a week. Even a week, we'll see a subtle change in what athletes can do.
You know, Dr. Fife, you talked about in the past, we've had you on and talking about the concussion protocol and how that's changed, tremendously over time. Yeah. I want to get your thoughts on, let's take this situation, a student athlete who has contracted COVID, but maybe has very minimum symptoms or asymptomatic.
Yeah.
Is there a recommendation of what they could or what you would want them to do if they were under your care? If they came to you, Dr. Fife, hey, I got to be quarantined for 14 days, but I have very minimum symptoms. What could I do to keep my fitness level up without endangering myself through my recovery from COVID?
Yeah, obviously, the COVID is affecting it's primarily a pulmonary disorder, and it's affecting the lungs. So, it's important that you keep your lung function, diaphragm function up. So you need to be doing something that involves you getting out of breath. Even though you may be asymptomatic, you've got to keep that cardiovascular system going. Because even though you're not symptoms, it's asymptomatic, no symptoms at all, we still don't know exactly what this virus is doing to the system. So it's important that you keep your cardiovascular system and you keep strength. So probably the best thing you can do is a mini circuit. And a circuit is where you don't rest. You might do 20 minutes of, do as many pushes as you can in a minute, and do as many squats you can in a minute, and do as many pull-ups you can in a minute. You just keep going for about 20 minutes, but you don't rest. You literally want the athlete to be out of breath, making sure the cardiovascular system and the pulmonary system is not declining either. Because the diaphragm, for example, is just a big muscle. That's all the diaphragm is. And so your diaphragm is going to decondition too. You put on top of that a virus that affects the pulmonary system, you have to make sure you're maintaining cardiovascular and diaphragmatic function. So probably the best bang for your buck is a high intensity circuit for about 20 minutes a day, where you're literally out of breath almost the whole time, and you go around the various muscle groups and keep everything strong. That's probably your best thing when you're convalescent. You don't need equipment for that either. It simply could be just a body squat, a push-up, and maybe a pull-up bar, and you can rotate between those three and do it for 20 minutes. You're going to maintain your cardiovascular fitness and the musculoskeletal system fitness. But you need to push the cardiovascular pulmonary system, because we don't know exactly what this virus is doing to athletes. And lots of people think that they don't have any symptoms, therefore it's not doing anything. We're not sure. We're just not sure. To give you an example, pneumonia. People think you had pneumonia and never recovered. No, when you have pneumonia, you have scarring of the lungs. So we don't know what the long-term effect is at all on every individual. Maybe a completely asymptomatic, no symptoms and no effect on the system, but we really don't know. So the best thing is to keep your diaphragm strong, keep your lungs strong, and keep your fitness. Sitting around is not going to do any good whatsoever.
And you're watching the Coach and AD right here on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, live in the universe, or the center of the universe of sports, Coach's Corner. It's on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. We're talking to Dr. Stuart Fife of Fife Therapy. All right, you're a parent, Stuart. You got two girls. You got and they're athletic. If you're a parent and your child comes home, not the COVID sign, but they have an injury or they can't get rid of an ache or pain, what advice would you give these parents?
Well, the best advice I give to people is that if you have an athlete who has a reoccurring ache and pain somewhere in their body, like for example, every time I practice, my back's a little sore. It's not bad, but just a little sore, little ache. My knees a little, but it goes away the next day. It's not a big deal. So an athlete who has a reoccurring slight injury, tenderness, ache is the red flag, because that's the system saying something's about to happen. If it's random, you have one practice and take a few bits and one day my shoulder will sore, the next day my knee will sore. Well, that could just be random, just from what happens in a contact sport. But the athlete who has a reoccurring small ache complaint is the red flag. That's like driving your car with the engine light flashing. You're still driving, nothing's going to happen, but you never know when that car suddenly stops. And that's what happens with ACLs. Every athlete who tears an ACL never expects to tear the ACL, goes on the field feeling perfectly fine, perfectly fit, and then boom, there's no warning there. But the warning really was that little ache, a little twinge, knee was a little sore for the game, but it's fine the next day. Now, if that's a reoccurring small area soreness, that needs to be addressed, because that's telling us the system is not doing what it should be doing. And as I said earlier, athletes compensate very, very well. They compensate around their weaknesses to get away with it. If you look at the likes of like Michael Jordan and Federer, the athletes who make things look effortless, and then you look at other athletes who are always like taping on the knees or wearing a brace or they've got this and they're always like chasing these little body parts. That's the difference. The Michael Jordan and the Roger Federers are the guys who have that whole biomechanical system working well. The other guys who keep chasing these aches and pains, the system is not right. There's something wrong biomechanically, and it's actually very easy to diagnose and very easy to fix. This is not a complicated thing. It's pretty black and white, to be honest with you. We're very predictable how humans break down. It's also the opposite. It's very predictable how to fix it. It's not a mystery. It's not complex. It's not like mind blowing. It's like, okay, let's look at the basic biomechanics and you can fix it almost always. Nothing is like, whoa, that's such a weird thing. I've never seen that before. No, we see the same things over and over again because we function the same way biomechanically. It doesn't matter who you are.
You know, with Dr. Fife, I know you're a big proponent of, you know, non-surgeries, especially if you can avoid it. And I know you've worked with a lot of student athletes, especially on and our head coach Mark Stroud for football. You know, with how important stretching is, and so especially for young student athletes who might be feeling, you know, those aches or pains in certain areas and just don't quite realize how important stretching your hips and all that stuff is to development of a young student athlete. Can you just talk about that real quick on, you know, the importance of warming up and stretching and getting the body prepared and also recovering from a workout from that perspective?
Yeah, sure. I mean, warm-ups is definitely important, and what's most important is exciting the nervous system. That's more important than probably the muscles. You want to excite and activate the nervous system, and preparation for the sport you're going to be doing. That's the most important thing. Stretching, however, is a little bit more controversial, and the reason why stretching is a little bit controversial is a weaker muscle doesn't get recruited in a movement. It just doesn't. The body's going to resort to what's easier and more efficient. What's easier and more efficient is a stronger muscle. But if you have the whole chain of muscles supposed to be working together, often the muscle that's working a little bit too hard to compensate for the weakness will end up feeling tight. So the athlete's sensation is, I need to stretch out my hip flexors, I need to stretch out my back. But the sensation of tightness is not a flexibility issue. The sensation of tightness is actually a strength issue. So again, in general, from an evolutionary viewpoint, should humans have to stretch and roll and get massages and do all these things to us? Or should a human just be able to get in the morning and go like, oh, okay, I'm good to go, I do what I want to do? That makes more sense evolutionary. We shouldn't have to keep chasing these injuries and stretching. So I would argue that if somebody feels the need to stretch after games because they feel a little tight, that's another red flag, because we shouldn't actually have to do that. You know, we should be able to, young athletes should be able to play the game and then feel fine, go home, no problems whatsoever, not sore, not hurt, and just get on with life, because they're the top of the tree. Evolutionarily speaking, we're top of the tree. We shouldn't have to keep putting these, you know, dampening these fires everywhere and putting out these little things, pop an Advil, pop an ibuprofen, yeah, I'm good to go. It shouldn't be like that. So stretching is important, but again, if you feel your body is tight consistently somewhere, that's that flashing red light again. It's like something is not doing what it should be doing. And again, it's very easy to find this with the right technology. It's not complicated at all. It's very black and white.
Well, Dr. Fife, or as I call you, Stuart, mate. Okay, last question, because we got the three young ladies waiting. I know one of them has to go to work, so I don't want her to leave early. But tell us, Stuart Fife Therapy has something big coming up soon.
Yeah, you know, this is the first time I mentioned it, but I'm not going to try and jinx it, but September 10th, I'm supposed to close on my own facility. It'll be a 3,000 square foot facility. I'll have a full half-acre AstroTurf area with floodlights. Nice. So we're going to take sports medicine, sports performance to a different level in Savannah. We're going to have more technology, including some force splits and some other systems that will really be able to take the diagnostic side of athletic performance to a different level completely. And then also to launch it, we will have one of the country's leading sprinting experts, Dr. Mickey Kirk, is going to come down. He's from Scotland. So we'll have a free class, one-day class sometime in the beginning of December, which will be free to all the coaches in Savannah. And it'll be on the latest technology and ideas around sprint training and sprint performance. So that will launch it. That'll be a free class for the coaches all day. We'll launch the facility, but you know, like I said, we're not We haven't signed the paper yet, so all that juice, anything can happen. But it's so exciting because it's going to fill a gap that the region doesn't have right now. You know, it won't be like the combine, but in that kind of direction, we'll be doing high-level performance testing, and injury prevention is going to be one of our big things. We'll have a couple of unique things that nobody else has in the area. We already have that, but we're going to go even more down the technology road because, you know, in this day and age, you need technology to be accurate. I mean, you just do. You know, the top guys around the country in sports teams get so many diagnostic tests before they get a green light to go back to sport. And the average player in Savannah is not exposed to that. The average player is doing some very basic things. Let me see you do a jump test. Let me see you do a drop down of the box. And that's the green light to go back to sport. Well, everybody else is being tested properly with advanced biomechanics, and they're held back and said, you're not quite ready yet. And we wonder why there's such a re-injury rate. It's because we're giving the green light too early without the diagnostic criteria to pass them. So we'll have the technology to say this athlete is good to go or not quite ready. And, you know, athletes want to get back. ACL, for example, you know, we'll be pushing the ACL side of our business a lot. But athletes have an ACL surgery. They want to play again in 4 months. Like, you can't go back in 4 months.
Right.
You maybe could go back in 6 months if you're top of the tree with what you've done and you're in rehab and you pass all the tests. But that's still a long shot. But these athletes think, yeah, I've been looking out 6 months, I'm good to go. No, you have to pass the biomechanical test, otherwise you can get hurt again. So we're just going to bring a different level of care to the athletic community in Savannah. So it's pretty exciting, a little bit nerve-wracking because it's you know, it's a big deal for me. You know, later on in my 5th decade, I'll take a big leap, but I'll be paying the mortgage till I'm like 85 or something like that. So, yeah.
AD, you got anything else?
No, man, I just so appreciative for his knowledge and the way he pours into the community of Savannah, and we're looking forward to seeing that facility and you know what he's going to continue to do to help our student athletes be better each and every day.
Stuart, always a pleasure.
Thanks, guys.
Your plethora of knowledge is always welcome on this show. You do a great job. I know I've been with you. You've been my physical therapist. I've sent athletes over to you. You get them back quicker than possible. Appreciate it. And remember, we'll be at that big grand opening.
Yeah, thanks, guys. See ya.
See you, man.
Bye.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you, Chad. He's got so much knowledge about getting athletes back, whether it's quicker or not quicker, just his whole concept. And, you know, he's genuine. He's not looking for the quick buck. He's not looking to get that athlete back so another athlete can come in. It's one-on-one training at Fife Therapy, and they do a good job. And I'm not just saying because I've gone with him. He just does a great job.
Oh, yeah. I mean, a perfect example is Jay Wetherington for us, who ACL tear. And, I mean, he said, you know, usually not 4 to 6 months. And that's basically what Jay went through. He got Jay back in about 4 to 6. And, you know, I guess Jay's at the top of that tree, and you put Stuart Fife at the top of that tree as well. And they got it done. So just tremendous job that he does. And, man, we might do it to a live remote to open his place up. You know, that'd be good.
I think John will let us do that one weekend. But anyway, I got 3 young ladies. They've been waiting patiently. I know one's got to get out of here. She's got to go to a job. So up next, not 1, not 2, but 3 Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic Athletes of the Week. They've all committed to play top-level college volleyball. We got Logan Jones from Savannah Christian. We got Jordan Christy from the Habersham School. And you take this one because I know I'm going to mess it up, Chad. Tynley Smeltzer.
Tynley Smeltzer.
See, Tynley, I apologize.
Tynley.
I said Tynley.
Like a 10. Like a 10. She's a 10. 10.
I got you. All right, we'll be right back after this. This is Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, all from the center of the universe of sports on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. We'll be right back in 3 minutes with 3 young ladies, outstanding young ladies.
Is all sports all the time. That's Coach's Corner and Thunderbolt. Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for 20 years running, and it's no wonder why. Sports, live music, delicious and abundant pub food. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. Coach's Corner has been Savannah strong during the COVID-19 pandemic. They are now open for dine-in lunch and dinner But remember, Coach's Corner still has curbside and takeout service. John Harrison and the Coach's Corner crew has still been smoking delicious meats like Boston Butts ribs and chicken on the grill. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's 912-352-2933. Don't forget, Saturday night at Soundgarden, it's the Big Engine Band. Tickets are from $10 to $20, so get yours fast. As always, make it a night to remember at Coach's Corner.
At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School would consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
Over a half century when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, and trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and the best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. So come get equipped at Thompson Sports Shop. They are now located at 42 West Montgomery Crossroads, Suite C in Savannah, are open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. each day. So come visit locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, where everyone is a winner.
Yo, you still want some real New York deli and Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road in Savannah, Georgia during this social distancing problem. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering will take calls for pickup at 912-354-2914. That's 912-354-2914 on the phone, capiche? If you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered, go to savtakeout.com, savtakeout.com to place the order. Remember, Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering, we ain't New York style, we are New York.
Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time, it makes you mad, the pain drives you crazy, you just want to pick something up and throw it across the room? If you can, at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And once again, thank you for joining us every Saturday morning. It's the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, live from the center of the universe of sports, and that's Coach's Corner, and it's presented by Coach's Corner Sports Network. There are 2 shows. Wednesday night, you got Rubbin' and Grubbin'. You see the little poster right there? Rubbin' and Grubbin' every Wednesday night with Brandon Baines and Dan Foles. They do a great job. It's all about NASCAR and getting food, which the AD and the coach don't get. And, of course, our show every Saturday morning. Hey, this is our favorite part of the show. I'm going quick. Go ahead, Chad. You got yours, Chad? We got our masks.
Well, I don't have my Coach's Corner one, but I got a mask though. We got a mask. We got a mask.
Hey, you're repping Calvary Day School. I understand that. That's fine. But anyway, these 3 young ladies have signed college scholarships. Have committed to sign college scholarships to go play college volleyball at the next level. This young lady did it way back in November. I'm trying to scroll her and get her on here so I can get her to come on the screen. Back in November, she was the first one signed to commit to the College of Charleston from Calvary Day School, and that's Tynley Smeltzer. Did I get it right, Tynley?
You got it right. Yes, sir.
There we go. And then last weekend, not 1, but 2 young ladies signed to or committed to go play college volleyball right up the road in Statesboro at Georgia Southern from Savannah Christian Day School, Logan Jones, and from the Habersham School, Jordan Christy. Ladies, thanks for coming on, and thanks for being patient. You got to understand, I love to talk. Coach Griffin loves to talk, and we go a little longer with our guest. I apologize.
Thanks
for having us.
All right, the AD, you kick it off with your first question.
All right, we're going to start with the two girls on the bottom of my screen right there. Let's start with Landon. Let's talk about the choices of Georgia Southern, and we ask every student athlete that comes on that's committed to schools. You want to talk about the recruiting process during COVID. So Logan, we're going to talk to you and about that first. So talk about what was recruiting like during COVID since March. What does that look like?
Well, thankfully, before the whole pandemic happened, we went to a tournament, and thankfully I got a bunch of contacts before the whole thing happened. So, and also at Southern, I was able to have my visit like last September. So I had my visit like almost a year ago, which is good. I think Jordan had hers virtually. But yeah, I was grateful to just have a bunch of contacts before it all happened, just to like get my name out there and everything.
So Jordan, talk about was your visit virtual? How'd your experience go in your recruiting with Georgia Southern? What'd that look like during the last 6 months?
Yeah, so my recruiting experience was very unlucky, I'd say. I definitely started late in the recruiting process. And so once I started setting up visits, COVID hit. So I wasn't able to visit anywhere. So I did my Georgia Southern visit virtually.
Did you have any other schools that you did a virtual visit with?
Yeah, I did one with St. Leo University as well.
Okay. And talk about that. What is a virtual visit like? I mean, is it just a Zoom call and they doing virtual tours? What is that like for a recruit to do a virtual visit?
Yeah, so it's different for sure. For my Southern visit, I had someone walk around campus with their phone while someone else described what I was seeing. So it's definitely a lot of work for them on their part, but it really helped me like see what I was gonna be like going to.
And I'm gonna go to I'm gonna go to Tynley. Okay, you did this way back in November, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you didn't have to go through this COVID-19 virtual or like Logan. She got to go to Georgia Southern to see her sister, but she's been crawling at Georgia Southern for her whole life. So, but tell us about your choice, College of Charleston. Beautiful area, and you made the decision way back in November. Why did you choose Charleston, College of Charleston, and why so early?
So I went to the beach volleyball camp last May, June. And I just loved the coaches and the players from the start. And then I got invited to the indoor camp in last July. And I just loved it so much, like the coaches and the whole atmosphere. And the gym is also really pretty. And I just really enjoyed like playing with the people that they put me with and playing for the coaches who were coaching me at the time. And then I took my visit in October, and right from the start, I was like, this is it. This is the school that I want to go to. This is where I want to be for the next 4 years. So I waited a little bit to commit after school volleyball season, but I pretty much knew where I wanted to go.
Well, Logan and Jordan, talk about, Tynley commit early and you get that, I'm sure it is a great feeling to know that, hey, you've made this decision and it comes off. But what was it for you two? And Logan, we'll start with you. Talk about, like I said, your sister's at Georgia Southern. You've probably been at Georgia Southern more than anybody else in the Savannah area for a long time. But what was it specifically? There always has to be one thing. Like Tynley said, hey, she knew when she went there that, hey, this was the school. This is what you kind of get that feeling at home. Is Georgia Southern always been that for you, or there's others in the mix that was playing into it, but you just kept coming back to Georgia Southern?
There are definitely other schools I was looking at, but Statesboro and Georgia Southern and everything about it always felt like home. I always told my parents every time I went back there. I fell more in love with Statesboro and Hanner. I love the atmosphere. I love the coaches. I love what they're about. And they really focus on like family, and I love that, the family atmosphere, like so much they've done for my sister and everything makes me really appreciate it. And so they were just the right fit, and so that's always where I wanted to be.
Well, that's good. Now, and Jordan, talk about, for you as well. I mean, you said it was a little bit later for you with visits and things of that nature. And so what was it specifically about Georgia Southern that you said, hey, this is it, this is where I'm going, this is the why behind it?
Yeah, so it was really close to home, so that was really great. And also, they are very stat-based, so in practice, they are keeping stats and you're basically competing to play. So as a freshman, getting play time and competing for it is huge. And like their coaching style is really great. So once I saw all that and just how nice all their technology and equipment is, I was totally sold.
Now, that's a different perspective that we've heard, Karl. That's a little bit different than, from other people that we've followed on. It doesn't matter if it's football, basketball, baseball. That's the first one we've heard. Hey, this is a stat-driven type program. So that's an interesting take.
Well, everything's driven by stats today, and I guess Georgia Southern just makes it out there knowing that they're going to look at their players that way. And, yeah, that's the first time we ever heard that, besides falling in love with the place and falling in love with the school and the coaching staff. So, yeah, that's pretty impressive. And you know what, Chad, and I know it, social media, Huddle, I mean, all these programs that are online, coaches can watch it and do their own stats. So that's pretty impressive. So we're going to go to Tynley here. Okay, you've had a great career at Calvary Day School. Tell us about Calvary Day School and your coaches.
So playing at Calvary Day School has pretty much been a dream come true. Like, it's the most family-oriented thing I've been around besides my own family. I mean, winning a state championship, obviously, that was like a big part of my career. But like, all my coaches have become like big role models for me, and including Coach Griffin. He's been there throughout everything, and I'm just super blessed and thankful to have played for who I've played for.
Jordan, how about the Habersham School and Coach Berry?
Yes, so playing at my school is definitely a different experience than a lot in Savannah. We have about 80 kids in our high school, so our division is super small, but we still have won 4 state championships in the past 5 years, and we're working on one this year. So our coaching, like Coach Berry, is super family and relationship oriented, and everything roots from outside the court. The way that we communicate and everything is super important. And just the amount of support that we have for each other is amazing.
And now let's go. Logan, you have a different perspective because both girls talked about family, and they weren't their biological parents. But, hey, you're dealing with Julie Jones, and it's mom coaching you. Tell us about that.
Well, honestly, it's a little different for me. I grew up as a coach's kid. And I guess, like, growing up, I learned a little bit from Landon, like the do's and don'ts with my mom and everything. So definitely give me a little insight. But, I mean, playing for Savannah Christian is so much fun. Like, you come to any of our home games, we have a huge student section, so the fan base is there. They love Savannah Christian, and they love being a Raider. And as we always say there, it's a great day to be a Raider. And I think that's, if you look around the school, that's truly what everyone thinks. So.
Well, Logan, talk about you have a unique experience of playing for your mom, and I'm sure as you've grown up, and like you said, you watched your sister go through it. But what's it like when you guys get in the car, to go home? Are y'all able to turn it off and just be mom and daughter, or is it probably a little bit of both? Hey, mom and daughter, or do you bring it up? Hey, about volleyball or this? Because it seems you guys, I mean, the whole like Jones Carver clan are so tight with each other. You families are so close. Talk about that relationship. Just a little bit on what it's like to have a parent as a coach.
Well, definitely sometimes when you get in the car, it's hard to turn it off. Like after a hard loss or something like that, you always go back to like, oh, what could we have done better and all this stuff. But I think it's really important to just her to be my mom whenever we get home and just try and turn it off. Sometimes it's a struggle. I know it's hard for her to do that, but I think she really tries. And also like Thomas and Chad and Hannah, like growing up with like such a competitive family, and everything we do is so competitive. Like Sundays we would go to Joe's house and play volleyball and compete. And it's what you grow up knowing is to compete. And I think that's what we do best. And so Uncle Chad is probably the most like, if you go play golf with him or any sport, he thinks he knows it all. He's all about mental game. I'm sure you can ask Tynley that. He'll be sitting on the bench and like, it's mental. It's all mental. You got to change your thoughts. So, I mean, I definitely think like growing up in that atmosphere has helped all of us, and being a coach's kid is sometimes hard, but I think we love it.
And
Awesome.
you're watching the Coach and AD right here on the Coach's Corner Sports Network on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. And I know, Jordan, I apologize. I know you got to get to work, but you just heard Logan, not Landon. I messed it up. I promised I wasn't going to do that, Logan. You're your own person. But tell us about your family support, Jordan, on how you got from where you are to go to Georgia Southern.
Yeah, so my family has always been all in on volleyball. The second I started, my dad is willing to travel anywhere just to watch me play. So making a college decision was hard for my family because, you know, they're your parents. They always think that, oh, you have way better options. Like, I know you could go play at way better. But once I started telling them, like, hey, this is what I think and, like, this is what I want, they were so in on Georgia Southern, and they're super excited.
Well, Tynley, talk about, you know, you're going to, you're going to play both sports, both volleyballs at College Charleston. You're going to play sand and, indoor. So what's that like? Or, was that a big part of your decision of choosing College Charleston because of the sand program as well?
That was a big part of my decision because I grew up playing beach volleyball with Lexi Polygarnis, who goes to Christian. But it was a big part of my decision because I truly enjoy both sports. And it's like a change almost when you go into the different two seasons because indoor is in the fall and beach volleyball is in the spring. So, like, you're focused on one sport at a time, and it feels like two completely different sports. So that really helped me decide where I wanted to be because I've always played, like, multi-sports in my life. So, like, I always wanted to continue doing what I love, but at the same time, like, the one sport I love. So it was, like, a big part of my decision.
And let's go back. We'll throw the ball. We'll bump it over to Jordan. After college volleyball is over, what's your aspirations? What do you want to do in the future?
Yeah, so I want to go into physical therapy or athletic training. I want to major in exercise science in college, so you can kind of branch out from there after school if I want to go back to school. But I definitely want to stay in, like, the sports industry, and I think, like, learning about the human body is so fascinating, and, like, how exercise and sports, like, helps you and hurts you.
Logan, what do you plan on doing?
I'll probably major in business and go into, like, medical sales or some type of sales. My dad's a pharmaceutical sales rep, so I like what he does, and so that's definitely what I'm interested in. And maybe some coaching in there. My mom always told me I was going to be a coach, so I'll try and get that in there somewhere.
Yeah, that tree for you guys is not.
We lost you, Coach.
Yeah.
Coach, we lost your microphone. All right. Well, Coach is trying to come back. Tynley, how about you after college? What do you want to do?
I really want to go into sports psychology. So, like, studying the minds of athletes.
Chad Carver can help you with that.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, he definitely can. I've learned a lot from him.
Okay, ladies, to wrap this up, I appreciate you coming on. One thing that you would tell a younger player if they had the same aspirations or they want to do the same thing that you guys want to do later on, get to college volleyball. We'll stick with Tynley first. Tell us what you would tell them to what they needed to do.
I would probably tell them not to give up. Like, times are going to get tough and your character's going to get tested multiple times, but how your character is tested in the end, like, reveals your true character. So I just tell them not to give up ever.
Logan?
A little bit of what Tynley said, and also, like, I think club volleyball helps a lot. Club Savannah has been there for all of us, letting us play at tournaments and get some looks from colleges. So definitely stick with it, play club, play as much as you can, and don't give up and keep working hard.
Jordan?
Yeah, so it's super important to keep a positive attitude about volleyball. Like, practice is hard, but you're going to have to get through it. It's going to make you better. And the decisions that you make on and off the court affect your whole life. So being smart with what you do and what you eat off the court is super important.
Coach Griffin, you back?
Yeah, I'm back. I don't know what happened there. I'm in the corner of a hotel here in Charleston, so I think I lost connection. But no, girls, you ladies have done a tremendous job. You represented your schools with tremendous character, and it's been fun to watch all of you. You guys will all do great things at the next level, and we just appreciate you taking time this morning to be on with us and share your experiences at your school, your love for volleyball, and then also you're impacting the next generation of volleyball players. And I'm sitting here, we're talking about 3 young ladies that are committed to play college volleyball out, Savannah, Georgia, and how the young generation, I know my daughter looks up to, loves volleyball and fall in love with it, and just we'll be able to watch all of y'all. It's going to be great for her. And so appreciate what you're doing to impact lives of the next generation of girls coming through.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you for having us on. We enjoyed it.
We
Well,
really
girls,
enjoyed it.
As Coach Griffin just said, great job. Keep those careers going. And anytime you got something exciting, tell your parents to let us know. We'll have you back. And maybe we'll get you back next year and tell us how your freshman year went. I'll be game to do that.
There you go.
Awesome plan.
I appreciate it, girls. Have a good day.
Bye.
Thank you. You too.
Well, Coach, I don't know what you want me to tell you, but 3 lovely young ladies, 3 outstanding young ladies. They have their acts together, and family support, choosing colleges because, that's where they fit in. And we learned something new. Georgia Southern, they recruit their players on stats.
Analytics. They're talking about, I thought Jordan brought up a great, that's the first time we've ever had a player talk about the analytic part of why they chose a school, because, hey, they measure playing time by their analytics and practice. I'm sure a lot of schools do that, but that was the first one we've heard of, hey, specifically of the why behind it. It's like, hey, we choose our players based on analytics and how they do in practice. And, hey, that's a great concept, and but it's great to hear from someone who definitely has put a lot of thought into what that looks like. So 3 great young ladies who have had tremendous volleyball careers and will do great things in college. But just thinking, she brought up Tynley's beach partner, Polychromes, that goes to Savannah Christian. She's going to play somewhere as well. So I'll be a 4th senior girl that'll be playing volleyball, and I'm sure there'll be more in the weeks to come and months to come. But the volleyball talent here in Savannah has definitely gotten to a whole new level, and those 3 girls are definitely products of it.
And I'll say it like I've said for the longest time, everybody thinks that all sports go through the center of high school sports in Atlanta. I hate to tell you, down here in the southeast, we can play our sports too, and we're showing that we can compete with them. Well, next up, Chad, we're going to be unpeeling Banana Ball with the vice president of the Bananas, and he's a local guy from Swainsboro, Georgia, and I'm excited about it. Armstrong State Pirate alumni, and that's Barry Aldridge with the Savannah Bananas. If you ever watch the Insider Show with him and Biko, it's unbelievable. I call him the Wizard of the Whiteboard, Biko, and the Vice President of Talent, Barry Aldridge. He's up next on the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, all part of the center of the universe of sports right here at Coach's Corner. We'll be back in 3 minutes. Oh, just so you know, Coach Griffin does the voiceover for the Coach's Corner promo. I did not put the right one up. I do apologize. I was a little tired at 12 o'clock. So tonight in the Sound Garden is Greg Allen and his friends in the Sound Garden, right there where I'm pointing. You can't see my hand. There it is. There it is. Okay, it's $10 to get in. So we'll be right back after this.
It's all sports, all the time. That's Coach's Corner and Thunderbolt. Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for 20 years running, and it's no wonder why. Sports, live music, delicious and abundant pub food. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. Coach's Corner has been Savannah strong during the COVID-19 pandemic. They are now open for dine-in lunch and dinner. But remember, Coach's Corner still has curbside and takeout service. John Harrison and the Coach's Corner crew has still been smoking delicious meats like Boston Butts ribs and chicken on the grill. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's 912-352-2933. Don't forget, Saturday night at Sound Garden, it's the Big Engine Band. Tickets are from $10 to $20, so get yours fast. As always, make it a night to remember at Coach's Corner.
At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School would consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
Over a half century when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, and trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and the best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. So come get equipped at Thompson Sports Shop. They are now located at 42 West Montgomery Crossroads, Suite C in Savannah, are open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. each day. So come visit locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, where everyone is a winner.
Yo, you still want some real New York deli and Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road in Savannah, Georgia during this social distancing problem. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering will take calls for pickup at 912-354-2914. That's 912-354-2914 on the phone. Capiche? If you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered, go to savtakeout.com, savtakeout.com to place the order. Remember, Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering, we ain't New York style, we are New York.
Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw across the room? If you can. At the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And good Saturday morning, coaches. Good Saturday morning at Coach's Corner. Good morning to all the sports fans. Coach and the AD, Karl DeMasi, Chad Griffin, we thank you, whatever you may be doing, for joining the show every Saturday morning for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it may be. It's all about local sports all the time right here in Coach's Corner, part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. We just got done with a trio of young, lovely ladies, Logan Jones, Tynley Smeltzer, and Jordan Christy. They all committed to play college volleyball. Hey, but this story is good too, Chad. I don't know if people know this. This next guy that's waiting in our Coach's Corner waiting room, I mean, he joined the Savannah Bananas as an intern back in 2016. So he lived the championship season. Then he went to ticket director. Now he's vice president of operations. I call him the vice president of talent. He does a great job. He's from Swainsboro. He played for his father, another coach's kid. He attended Armstrong, where he played baseball for Joe Roberts and I guess Calvin Culberson. But you know what? He does a great job over there at historic Grayson Stadium right here on Victory Drive in Savannah, Georgia. He's now joining us on the Coach's Corner hotline. Not hot seat, Barry, because I know you're probably on the hot seat all the time with Jesse and Jared. But love to have him on. The vice president of the Savannah Bananas, Barry Aldridge. Barry, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Karl. Chad, good to see you as well. I apologize for my tardiness this morning, gentlemen. Like I heard you mention, Karl, man, there was a quick turnaround this morning. We were out here. Little known fact, we have to pick up the firework debris after games. It generally falls all over the field, and to be safe and obviously so that the city workers don't have to do it and stuff. I mean, it's our choice to do the fireworks. We go out and the whole crew picks it up after the game. So we got to bed about 2 a.m. last night, and we had a quick turnaround.
I mean, I thought staying up till about 12:15 was bad, and of course I loaded the wrong file, but that's not here or there. But I mean, everybody thinks that it's all fun at Grayson Stadium, but you guys put in a lot of time and effort. Did you think when you started as an intern from Swainsboro, Georgia, Armstrong State, that this would be something that has grown so big and you're a big part of?
No, I mean, of course not. I really thought I was going to coach and teach whenever I was a senior at Armstrong, and the Bananas came to town, and I thought, yeah, there's an opportunity. They're probably a small team, no big deal. They'll probably need some help. I can go and intern there and see what the other side of the game's about. And when I remember on my first day, they were like, "Yeah, we're gonna try to sell out 5 games," and we were like, "Okay." And because I mean, I'd been coming to Sandnats games, and I had been, even when I was a kid, coming to games from Swainsboro. It's not that far of a drive, and I had never seen more than a couple hundred people in the stands. And so we sold out 18 that first year as an intern. And it was like a movie. They could have asked me to do anything that year, and I'd have done it because the atmosphere was just so contagious and electric. And lo and behold, here we are, 88 sellouts later. I guess if you counted all of these coronavirus sellouts this year, it'd be over 100 now. But I think we're just going to keep count whenever we can get back to the normal 4,200.
Hey, Barry, talk about, just that when you got there and how, but also if you looked at people that have been there with Bananas from the start, how they've progressed up a ladder, within the organization. So talk about that from where you've come in to where you're at now, and just the things you've been able to learn and do as you progress through the Bananas organization.
Sure. That's one of the great things about working for an up and coming company, I suppose, is that when you get in near the ground level, you have all the opportunity in the world to help the company grow and grow as it grows. So the opportunities for us, obviously, things start going viral. We start selling out a lot of games. We start getting national attention. The company does really well. And it gave a lot of us an opportunity to not only have our foot in the door at 22, 23 years old, but to really have a seat at the table at that age. And I'm eternally grateful for, our owners, Emily and Jesse Cole, our team president, Jared, for giving me a seat at that table and getting to help make decisions that shape this franchise. And, we're obviously trying to push the envelope, and we have people, like you said, that have climbed every step of the way. I mean, there's of my intern class alone in 2016, I think 7 of us ended up with full-time jobs at some point or another. And yeah, I'm extremely appreciative and grateful. I definitely do not take it for granted. And I take it very humbly that I get to, be in this position now of vice president. It's not something I expected, not something that it wasn't like a goal I had set when I first joined the Bananas. It was just a roller coaster. It's been a roller coaster the entire time. One that's a lot of fun, really, really a lot of fun.
Well, being a health teacher, I tell my kids, you know what? People are affected by where they work and what they do. And if they're not enjoying it, they don't want to go to work. They dread it. And I'm telling you right now, it seems like anybody that works for the Savannah Bananas, they have fun. It's not something that they dread doing. I mean, like you said, after the game, you got to go pick up firework debris. Okay. You included Biko on that too, right? I hope.
Absolutely. Biko is out there with the best, he did probably the most important part of fireworks pickup, which is throwing an awesome playlist on the speakers.
But anyway, so tell us, I mean, you're a baseball guy, your father coached, you played banana ball. Okay, let's unpeel banana ball. Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you think it's ever going to make it to the next level? Or it's just something that the Bananas, have a lot of fun with?
Sure. I'll start with the end of it. The Bananas have a lot of fun with it. That is, I think, for us, the main goal. I don't think we have aspirations necessarily that the MLB picks this up, or other leagues pick this up. I think imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, but I don't necessarily see professional leagues picking this up. I think that at best, it's something that's almost a calling card for us to do a few times a year. And I also think that a lot of kids would enjoy it. I think it would be a great addition to a little league program. I think kids would love to play banana ball for an hour and a half as opposed to, or an hour, as opposed to going out and playing traditional t-ball, for example, or something like that. If we can educate the players well on the rules, that's the only time that it gets a little like confusing. Is right. You play one sport your entire life, you play it one way your entire life. It's kind of the equivalent of when kids when kids first have to start holding runners on and all that, it's like that times 10. You just have to re-educate and talk to people. But there's no denying, and we've done surveys after both of the banana ball experiences this year. The resounding answer is that it's faster. People enjoy it. That they hate mound visits. They hate the small minutia of the game that make guys like me feel real important as a catcher or as a coach. It kind of puts the on the guys that are out there on the field to figure it out and move quickly and keep things moving and having a good time. There are ways for fans to get involved, obviously, with catching a foul ball and it being an out. There are we've toyed around with letting fans make more decisions as far as like batting order, the day of the game, stuff like that through polls. But I mean, the data we received, here's the most telling one. We said we didn't load the deck and ask people tell us just the best thing about banana ball. We asked for the worst thing about banana ball. We asked very objective questions as well. And one of my favorites was, how long is the perfect baseball game? And we let people go 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 3.5 plus hour. And 78% said 2 hours. A small portion, about 20%, about 15 to 20% said 3 hours. And then, just what was left, the rest said somewhere in the other. 2 hour baseball games just don't happen. And if we can figure out a way to kind of speed the game up and stuff, and straightforwardly, I think it starts with the players. I saw something interesting a while back where they showed a game from the 1980s and a game from 2019 overlaid because they had the exact same amount of ads, like to the second, the amount of ad time. And the game in 2019 was 45 minutes longer because the average pitch or average amount of seconds between pitches was drastically longer in 2019. Everybody steps out, adjusts their batting glove. They get more pine tar. The pitcher has to count to 100. I mean, it's so slow. And so I do think it starts with players, pace of play. And I think pace of play is what will get people back in the ballpark. I mean, excitement and energy and things like that. I think we're kind of proving, like it or not, the Bananas are proving that that's what puts people in seats. And so if you want the sport to thrive long term, maybe banana ball is not the answer, but there are certainly some pace of play and energetic and entertaining things that can be done by franchises, organizations, high schools, colleges, whatever, to just really engage with people and make the players and the coaches more accessible to the fans.
Well, Barry, you bring up a great point. If you think about it, if you go to watch a movie, all right, or really sit down for any kind of entertainment block, I mean, it's an hour and a half to 2 hours. Mostly is your entertainment block from that perspective, and so I totally agree. I mean, that's kind of, especially in today's society where people got social media and hand access to everything. To really keep somebody's attention, you got to have things that are moving quickly. I think that's why y'all's convert and people are really in tune to it, because of how quick it goes. My question to you is, what is the VP of talent? What exactly is that? Are you going out and getting the players? Is that what it is? So what's a VP of talent at Savannah Bananas?
Yeah, so I think Karl uses that term of half in jest and half affectionately, hopefully, because basically when coronavirus hit, we were almost 40,000 tickets oversold. At what was now going to be 50% capacity at our games. So we had to stretch our season out and add games. We added 4 more dates to it. Most people were dropping dates. We had to add. We went from 26 games to 30. And we knew that players, if schools started back on time, were going to be disappearing around August 15th. That was the absolute latest that they were going to be around. And so we reached out and basically in a meeting, we were like, we're going to figure it out. And about August 15th, all those players start disappearing and colleges are going back and most college guys are not accessible. And we started figuring it out. I started making calls to every coach I knew, every college guy I knew, to almost everybody and scouts as well, and started trying to find guys. And, I didn't have a ton of Karl DeMasi's falling in my lap. Like we knew Dom, he had pitched for the Party Animals a little bit and with the hometown team. And so Dom signed on, and that he was one of the first that got the ball rolling because I could say, yeah, Dom's coming out. And, being a name in baseball here in Savannah, they started understanding what it could be like. And it's not just a pickup game with 30 guys. So Dom signed on. We get some former Bananas, Cal Baker, Clint Hardy to sign on. Then we start getting minor leaguers rolling in. We get Zach Featherstone, Cody Stoll, Jake Gilbert, guys from organizations who they're not allowed to throw. They don't have anywhere to play right now. Their seasons were canceled. So they got waivers from their organizations to come out and play. And then on top of that, we started adding some guys that were 1 year out of college. Ashley Morris, he's the I think director of AGM down at the Hilton on River Street. Played for Calvary during some of those golden years in the 2000s. He's playing with us. Cal Baker, like I said, from Georgia Southern and a former Banana. But I think what Karl was saying about me being the VP of talent is we were trying to field a new team from a pool of guys that is pretty tough. Honestly, we wanted to make sure the baseball was really good, but we wanted to make sure that, they didn't have prior commitments. Savannah State helped us out a lot. Shout out to Coach Hardy. He's been awesome to work with, sent us 4 of his guys that can really benefit from getting some competitive innings in because they're not allowed to do anything right now. So I'd like to think it's a mutually beneficial relationship for the guys we have playing here these last 9 games in the Breakfast Bowl and us as well.
I mean, it's a great concept. You're watching the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report live from the center of Universe of Sports. That's Coach's Corner, and we're part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Okay, and we're talking to Barry Aldridge, the vice president of the Savannah Bananas, who's worked himself up from the intern in 2016 all the way to 2020. And I mean, it's just a great concept. And I agree with both of you. I'd rather watch a 2-hour game versus a 3.5-hour game. And Chad, we talked about this last week. Major League doubleheaders, 7-inning games, hour and 45 minutes, 2 minutes. It's great. It's great. I mean, even though the Braves beat the Yankees and the Mets beat the Yankees last night, I'm living through it. I know. But
I love that. I love that shirt you got there.
Hey, I tell, and Chad can vouch for this, I know more about the Braves than I do the Yankees and Mets, okay? So, but anyway, it's just a great concept. Now, you and Biko do a great job on the internet broadcast of baseball's insiders. You work well with each other. And I'm not just saying this because I want to get a little, carrot in my cap here. But, I mean, did you guys ever think about doing this more often on the internet or doing something? Because you guys, you work. You got the wizard of the whiteboard. You got the vice president of talent. You just work so well together. You think of doing that in your future?
You know what? To answer your question, I really haven't ever considered broadcasting. I'll give you a little bit of background. Biko and I have been doing a podcast together for about 5 months now. We did a podcast. We did probably 8-9 episodes of the podcast during quarantine before we ever met. Before he ever came down, we did them, via Zoom call and stuff just like this. And it's hard not to work well with Biko. He is honestly one of the more talented, more prepared, more just likable guys I've ever been around. And people always want to know if somebody's on air the same as they are off, and he could not be more the same all the time. He is this exact same guy, always upbeat, always brings energy, and it's impossible not to work well with him. And then I have to give a shout out to the late Barney Bonfield. He just passed away this year. Karl, I don't know if you knew him or Chad. He was the radio guy for Toombs County Sports. He did it over at Y109 in Lyons, Georgia for years and years and years. I am such a huge Barney Bonfield fan, and I was so devastated when he ended up passing away this year. But Barney has the kids in Toombs County ready to talk on a mic from the time they're about 13 years old. He does so many interviews, does so much to push sports forward in that area and help kids feel comfortable. And I was lucky enough to do some broadcasting with him. I would, when I was in college, anytime they'd come to Savannah, I broadcast a game at Grayson one time. Jeremy Beasley pitching, who's now with the Diamondbacks. That's a fun fact. I got to play with him and broadcast a game he pitched. I got to do a couple state playoff games for Toombs County and stuff. So it wasn't my first time behind the mic. And as you can tell, I can't shut up anyway. So I enjoy it. It's just fun talking to Biko, and we have so much creative freedom with the Bananas Insiders. And honestly, I don't know how anyone could fail with the Bananas Insiders because the comment section is right there. We had 550 comments worth of people to interact with. And that's something that I've talked to Biko about. I was like, do you think this could work on scale? And he was like, absolutely. If a Major League Baseball game fans could interact maybe it's not a live feed where everything that's said is posted, but if fans could interact more with the broadcasters and have things acknowledged and talked about, I think it could provide an even better virtual experience than we're already getting with the major leagues.
Well, how great would that be? I'm sitting there thinking about like watching, watch Chipper Jones now in the broadcast booth, even though he's probably tucked away in Atlanta somewhere and wherever he's doing it. But think about the opportunity to interact with Chipper Jones or the other, guys who are calling the game, A-Rod or whoever, and like just to maybe get one more nugget of knowledge of their play or their experience or whatever. I mean, you talk about getting someone hooked into the game. I mean, the game might be going on, but they're really there to gain knowledge from Chipper or A-Rod or whoever's calling the game, just that little nugget. And I think that's what's so great about you guys is that interaction piece. It just makes you feel a part of it. It's not like you're just a person walking into the stadium. I mean, that's why Bananas are so successful is the people walking in, they feel a part of the process of what's going on, whether it's a banana going through the stands or, something else that's going through the dancing. They all you feel engaged there. It's the same thing with what you get and Biko are doing. People feel engaged in it. When they feel a part of it, they feel like, hey, this is what they are. And so, man, you guys just done a tremendous job with that.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. I think the word I like to use is a tribe. We want to build a tribe. We want to build a tribe of people that believe what we believe, which is putting other people first, putting our fans first is the way to go about it. I mean, it's funny because Scott Strickland, head coach at Richmond Hill High School baseball, is now helping us out in lieu of our regular coaches. And he says that he is taking so much of what we preach from the business side back to his school, because you know how hard it is for a kid to get in his own head and mess up when all he's really thinking about between innings is how he can make a special moment for that 8-year-old on the sidelines. It is so much easier to get out of your own head. And I mean, don't get me wrong, focus and attention to detail, and between those white lines, you gotta take care of your business. But to get out of your own head every between innings for 2 minutes and try to make a special moment for somebody and just be aware that you're someone's idol right now. You're someone's, you are the Chipper Jones to all these little kids at Grayson Stadium, and helping the players feel aware of that and letting them know, like, hey guys, you can have fun. You can have a great time. You don't have to be so stoic and serious. Like, you can let loose a little bit. We've seen it help a whole lot more players than it hurts. And no one's making the kids that need that intense focus do anything, but letting the ones that are normally maybe in their own heads engage in something else is very, very helpful. And if you've never watched Bananas Play Better, it's a video on YouTube that Dr. Curtis Sproul from Georgia Southern did a study on the Bananas players a couple years back. And I won't spoil the results. It showed some really, really interesting correlations, about 10 minutes long. Great waste of 10 minutes of your day.
Well, Barry, I appreciate you coming on, and I know you got one tonight in Macon. You'll make the trip with Biko and the gang, and then you come back for the last three games of the Banana Breakfast Bowl, the Breakfast Bowl with bananas and bacons. It's just great to see what you guys are doing. Keep the great work, and I'm glad a local kid has some little input into what the mastermind, Jesse Cole and Emily Cole, the masterminds of this whole thing, are doing. Keep it up. Great work. I enjoy it. And I know you used to say, go Tigers.
Yeah, go Tigers, go Bulldogs. I went to Toombs County High School, even though I grew up in Swainsboro.
Oh, so, you did? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, I never got to, actually. I was in the 8th grade. He and Luke and I are still like this. But I was in the 8th grade when Coach Stroud left, and he left after that year, went to Calvary. I ended up playing for Shane Williamson, and shout out to Brian Fitzgerald. That was my high school baseball coach, and he was awesome to play for. So, but yeah, I'm still a Swainsboro kid. Go Tigers, go Bulldogs, go Pirates, go Bananas.
Never forget the Pirates. Never forget the Pirates.
Never. I can't forget them.
Nice.
Can't do it. Can't forget the Pirates.
So, all right, enjoy you, Chad. Finish it up with him.
Yeah, I mean, just it's great once again to Barry's his first class and everything he does. And I called up there the other day because I couldn't get my untech savvy mindset. I was having trouble downloading my tickets, and Barry's the one that picked up the phone and goes, "Yeah, give me 2 seconds," and it had it right to me. So it doesn't matter who you call it, Bananas. It's all about service and servant leadership, and they are the epitome of it. And we are very blessed to have them here in Savannah. So, Barry, thanks so much again, man, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Yeah, my pleasure. Hey, shout out those Calvary parking penguins this year, helping all of our season ticket holders park. Love those kids. They've done an amazing job this year.
Appreciate it, man. It's been good.
Hey, I'll be watching tonight. Have fun with Pico.
See you guys.
I mean, there's a young guy, Savannah area guy that loves what he's doing. He internship. I don't think he, like he said, I don't think he ever thought this would go where it's going. And I watched him last night at the stadium because I knew we were having him on today, and he's all over the place. He's going back and forth here and there. And they never stop. They never stop. Even Jesse Cole never stops. And they're always looking to put the fans first.
Yeah, they are, and you feel that when you walk in the stadium. You feel that talking to Barry. You feel that listening to him and Biko talk. I mean, just the ideas that I think sometimes companies feel like they have to fit in a certain mold to be successful, and Bananas have just broken that mold all to pieces and show that you can have fun, you can be innovative, you can try new things. It might work, it might not work. And they've just done that to a high level of success that very few attain. And that's why they're put out such a demanding product. And so, man, we're blessed to have them in Savannah.
And I'll tell you, I'm just going to go one step further. The other night, watching the Bananas Insiders with Barry, Aldridge, and Biko on the broadcast. I mean, it was great. It was great. It was a great tag team. They kept you entertained. And for that $4.95 that I pay every month so I can watch them if I can't get to the stadium, because they're always sold out. I mean, it's just a lot of fun. So keep up the great work. And the fans do have a lot of say in the comments that go on there. And they do have an adult game that they play on there. I won't go any further than that. That's a lot of fun to watch these people. They enjoy it. They're putting up their mugs of adult beverages and their glasses of adult beverages. So it's a lot of fun. So you ready to go 3 out the door?
We're ready, man. Let's go.
All right. So once again, you're watching the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report at the center of the universe of all sports, Coach's Corner, and it's all part of the Coach's Corner Sports Network. We'll be right back after we thank our sponsors. Don't forget, Chad, we got to tell them about tonight's band, too.
Got to have it.
It's all sports, all the time. That's Coach's Corner and Thunderbolt. Coach's Corner has been voted the best in Savannah for 20 years running, and it's no wonder why. Sports, live music, delicious and abundant pub food. No matter what the season, there's always a reason to check out Coach's Corner. Coach's Corner has been Savannah strong during the COVID-19 pandemic. They are now open for dine-in lunch and dinner. But remember, Coach's Corner still has curbside and takeout service. John Harrison and the Coach's Corner crew has still been smoking delicious meats like Boston Butts ribs and chicken on the grill. You can place your order by calling Coach's Corner at 912-352-2933. That's 912-352-2933. Don't forget, Saturday night at Soundgarden, it's the Big Engine Band. Tickets are from $10 to $20, so get yours fast. As always, make it a night to remember at Coach's Corner.
At Calvary Day School, we want our students to be fully equipped and on the cutting edge of academics, making a difference in our world. Your child will grow academically, physically, socially, and spiritually. At Calvary, it is so good to say we are one school with one mission and one vision: faith, academics, excellence, and building champions through Christ. Calvary Day School would consider it a privilege to meet with your family personally. Call Philip Lee, Director of Admissions, at 351-2299. That's 351-2299.
Over a half century when it comes to uniforms, sporting goods, and trophies, Thompson's got you covered. From cleats to caps and the best prices on the biggest brands, Under Armour, Adidas, and more. From baseball to soccer, volleyball to softball, and yes, football too. Every season starts at Thompson Sports Shop. So come get equipped at Thompson Sports Shop. They are now located at 42 West Montgomery Crossroads, Suite C in Savannah, are open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. each day. So come visit locally owned Thompson Sporting Goods and Trophies, where everyone is a winner.
Yo, you still want some real New York deli and Italian food? Bada bing, bada boom. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering is open at 7630 Skidaway Road in Savannah, Georgia during this social distancing problem. Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering will take calls for pickup at 912-354-2914. That's 912-354-2914 on the phone. Kabish. If you want Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Catering goods delivered, go to savtakeout.com, savtakeout.com. savtakeout.com to place the order. Remember, Rocky's New York Deli and Italian Caring. We ain't New York style. We are New York.
Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic. Your back hurts, another body part hurts all the time. It makes you mad. The pain drives you crazy. You just want to pick something up and throw it across the room. If you can. At the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic, you get complete chiropractic care and pain relief to help you move better, have a less painful life, and of course, achieve a healthier lifestyle. The Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic is now located at 2 locations in Savannah, Georgia, at 329 Eisenhower Drive and in Pooler at 114 Canal Street, Suite 603. So visit Dr. Bart Wetherington at the Wetherington Chiropractic Clinic for all your chiropractic needs.
And once again, thank you for joining us on a Saturday morning. I know it's on the internets, but you also can do this on your phone too. You can download it on your phone. You can listen to us while you're driving. Put Facebook on, YouTube, Twitter. We're there. It's the coach and AD, Karl DeMasi, Chad Griffin, on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report, live from the center of the universe of the sports world. And that's, of course, Coach's Corner. And it's presented every week on the Coach's Corner Sports Network. Chad, I dreaded this show this morning. Because I wasn't ready. I got home late last night. I'm starting to see what you're going through because, knock on wood, hopefully Chatham County Public School kids will get to play next week with the protocols, making sure the gym's right. I mean, going to meetings. I wasn't ready for this. And as you can see, I posted or I put in the wrong promo for our sponsors. But sponsors, we got to thank you. And tonight's band at Coach's Corner.
Hold on a second. You got to help me out there because I pushed the wrong tab. I had it brought up on my computer and I pushed the wrong tab.
It's the
Andrew Gilliam and Friends, right?
Excuse me?
It's Andrew Gilliam and Friends, right?
Yeah, Andrew Gill and Friends. Yeah, I was going to say Greg Allman. Yeah. I was going to say Greg Allman. I wish Greg Allman was here. Okay.
Yeah, me too. I'd be there. I'd be there as well. But be there tonight for Andrew Gilliam and Friends.
Andrew Gill and Friends, and I do apologize to John, but remember, Thursday nights we have Nashville Sound. Friday nights we have a band. Saturday nights we have a band. Pub Star Trivia on Wednesday nights. We're on Wednesday nights. We got the Rubbin' and Grubbin' show at 6 o'clock. Then we come on for our Wednesday night update. So it's a lot of fun. So it goes so quick, but I'm glad it turned. I mean, great guest today. Great guest.
Yeah. Yeah, you did a great job, man. We were we had Karl did a great job moving some guests around, from beginning week to this week to the end. And Barry's awesome. I mean, that was just great insight to what's going on in Bananas. And that's the thing. We've had Jesse on, we've had Emily on, we've had Jared on, and now Barry. But every one of them has a different insight and different perspective on the Bananas. And so it's great to see that even though they're all in the same place, they all have different perspective of what it looks like for each one of them. So great job by Barry. Stuart Fife, absolutely. Dr. Fife, absolutely amazing. Just great inside information to realize, talking about COVID-19 protocol, return for student athletes. And it's like, listen, you can't just do nothing for 14 days. You have to continue to build your lung capacity. That's where COVID hits you. So doing a little, 10, 20-minute HIIT workout, high intensity workout, that's going to help you keep your anaerobic, exercise up to where when you do return to play, you're good to go. And man, the 3 girls we had on, Karl, just top notch.
Just top notch. Logan Jones from Savannah Christian, Tynley Smeltzer from Calvary Day School, and Jordan Christy from the Habersham School. So once again, Barry Aldridge, Swainsboro. I just found out Toombs County Bulldog, Armstrong Pirate. He's got a tattoo on his shoulder, and great job from the Savannah Bananas. All right, time to get 3 out the door. We're right where we always are. All right, today I get to grill the AD. Okay, besides the Savannah Bananas, the nickname, people thought it was crazy. What is the funniest team nickname you've actually heard other than the Bananas in the real world?
Oh, it's the anteaters. One of my favorite, the anteaters, man. I love that. Them and the banana slugs. UC Irvine, but I think UC Irvine is the anteaters. But that's one of my favorites right there, man. I love. I mean, like, how do you? I want to see the mascot. I want to see the mascot at a game for the anteater. You know, I mean, that's classic right there. I love the anteaters. How about you? What's your favorite non-banana mascot?
I'm pretty sure it's the University of Santa Clara Banana Slugs.
Yes.
So my favorite, it goes with school with food. Minor League Baseball Club, the Montgomery Biscuits.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
All right, next question. Step number 2 out the door. What movie would be greatly improved if you made it into a sports movie? Not a sports movie, but you took another movie and you made it into a sports movie.
I took another movie and made it into a sports movie that's not a sports movie. That's a great question. I think my first thing that comes to my mind, because it's competitive, is Top Gun. You know, like Top Gun, like, you know, dog fighting and everything else, and turn it to a sport. I mean, I think there is a sport, and I have to look it up, but, you know, like, I know airplane racing is a sport,
right?
But I think there is a dogfight. I have to look that up. I'll have that answer for you next week. But I think it's like Top Gun dogfighting would be a great sport.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to make you laugh right here. I'd take Shrek. I mean, Shrek and the donkey, and you know, the underdog, and you know, him coming back to be this great guy, and Eddie Murphy. I love Eddie Murphy as the. So you know that whole movie, but I take Shrek. I think that has a good plot behind it, where the good guy,
that's a good one.
You know, he's seen as the bad guy, but he's really the good guy. And definitely, if you made it into a sports movie, I think it would go well.
I like that one. That's a good one.
Okay, we're going way back when for you. Okay, if your 5-year-old self suddenly found yourself changed into another current body, what would that 5-year-old be?
If I could pick another body to be in, talking about like, oh my gosh.
As your 5-year-old inner self, though, as that little kid way back when.
Oh my gosh. I would want to see. All right, I want to know what it's to be Rob Gronkowski at 5 years old. Is what I want to know. I want to know what it's like to be Rob Gronkowski at 5 years old. To me, one, he still has a mentality of a 5-year-old, which I think is awesome. You know, but I want to know what it'd be like in his body at 5 years old. Him or J.J. Watt. I would love to see what they be in that body at 5 years old and see what that was like. But Gronkowski, I'm going to go with Gronkowski because you always make me pick one. I'm going to go with Rob Gronkowski.
I had to give this a lot of deep thought too. But, you know, I've had people way back when I was younger. I had a softball coach, believe it or not. We had a coach for our softball team right after I got out of high school, and he would call me the Babe. And I would like to get in Babe Ruth's body as a 5-year-old just to see what it was like way back then.
Yeah, could you swing it at 5 years old? You know, could he hit tanks at 5? I think that's pretty. I like that. That's a good mentality right there.
You see, I'm starting to come up with questions that you love.
It's great, man. It's great. I thought about since I'm a terrible swimmer, I just thought about could Michael? How good could I swim at 5 years old being Michael Phelps?
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I would have those. Those are great questions, man.
So on that note, it's been a tough week in sports, in life, in general. 2020 has been a strange year. All I got to say is I'm not going to talk about how I feel, but we need to love each other. We're human beings. We need to love each other, and I'm going to leave it at that. Chad. We just got to learn how to love each other.
Yeah, treat others as you want to be treated. The golden rule, man. That's how we need to exist in life, and just treat others as you want to be treated, and just love and care about human beings. And I think as we got to continue to progress of that mindset in all areas, is just truly love your fellow brother, love your fellow sister, as we're called to love each other by God's grace. And I think we just keep it a little bit more simple like that in life, things will be a little bit better.
Love your neighbor.
Yeah, love that neighbor. Yep, you got it.
So, because I'll make this quick with the fans and you. I had someone say to me, well, you went on the radio, you went on the internet Wednesday night, you went on the internet Thursday night, you never said anything what's going on in this world. you know what? Try and treat each other the right way. I'm not on here to talk about the bad stuff, the negative stuff that's going on. I'm here to promote positive news, what our kids are doing, what sports is doing for us. Yeah, I it's frustrating. It's very frustrating, but that's how I'm going to leave it. It's not my job to give my opinion on this sports talk internet show. Just all I got to say is love thy neighbor, love each other. So I'll leave it at that.
Amen, bro.
So remember, every Saturday morning and Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock, following the other Coach's Corner Sports Show, Rubbin' and Grubbin'. It's the Wednesday night update on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report with the coach and AD. We're here every Saturday morning from 9 until almost 11 now. Until you got to love it. It's on Facebook Live. It's on Twitter Live. It's on YouTube Live. You can go back and watch the show on YouTube. So make sure you check it out. Remember, it's all sports all the time, and it's all local right here on the Coach and AD on the Karl DeMasi Sports Report. So, Chad, have a good time up there. Make sure Hayes is hitting the ball out of the park, and Sherry and your daughter having a good time, and that's what it's all about. Oh, quickly, what's this place like, the Shipyard?
Oh, man, it's unbelievable. It's one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen to play youth sports. It's right on the Ashley River. It's incredible. Stadium seating everywhere for the fans. Huge plazas to walk around in. I mean, it might be the most beautiful place I've ever seen to play youth sports. I mean, it's gorgeous. What a great setting.
So, all right. So until we see you Wednesday night, whatever you may be doing until then, always sit at the park. And as I say every weekend, wash those hands. Okay. Keep social distancing. Wear your mask. Okay. Got to represent Coach's Corner right here. Wear your mask. And as always, God bless. Chad, have fun. We're out of here. We'll talk to you on Wednesday night.
All right, brother. See you soon. A week from today, we'll have high school Georgia sports scores.
Yes, we will. We'll have high school football scores. Okay. Talk to you later.